Hello? Okay, I have chicken and rice.
Hey everyone, I'm Paul, aka Pabro.
Okay,
I'm
too
Andre,
loud, too
also
low.
known as Meddler. Today is October 30th, which is a bit
Too high,
earlier
too
than
low.
usual, because we're flying to Worlds soon, and we wanted to film this before we left.
This is our last dev update of the year, and before
Low?
we get
Too
into
low.
some of the
Okay,
things
now
you'll
we're
see
trolling.
in Season 1
RATIRL is
2026,
human
we
trash.
wanted to thank you all for being on the journey with us this year.
As always, we want to show some love for your passion, for keeping us honest, and for making working on this game so worth it.
Oh, my
Now,
pleasure.
in January, we'll be back to talk
RATIRL
more about
is
Season
human
1,
trash.
as well as a little bit of what to expect for the rest of 2026 overall. But for now, let's get into it.
We learned a lot this year about Seasons. Many of you
Yeah.
liked what came with the themes. The map art updates, metagames, new champions, and champ updates overall, for example. But we also saw that if we leaned too hard into a region, it could feel very one note, especially when it comes to skins. And as it turns out,
Oh,
there
really?
is too much of a thing like
A
Noxus.
lot of red and black.
Yeah.
So, we'll continue to find the right balance for thematic seasons
Too
moving
loud.
forwards. And speaking of which,
Okay,
it's
what
time
now?
to talk about Season 1 of 2026. For this, we wanted a contrast from 2025, with its ancient danger, a dark inn, and quite a bit of scheming throughout. So next year, we want to kick things off with themes of unity, hope, and justice, with a drop of righteous judgment thrown in there for good measure.
So that means Petricite, gold, and blue accents on the map, as well as some Demacia themed skins, including some champions reimagined as Demacians.
I
with
love
plenty
skins.
of non-Demacia skins for some variety.
That also means that the yearly cinematic in January will feature Demacian champions. We're going back to old school Demacia this time, back in time to what some might consider the golden age of Demacia, when it was a beacon of hope, a bastion of justice.
Hey, Andre, are we forgetting something?
I don't think so.
You sure?
Okay, Waka
Nah,
with the
let's
f***ing
keep
10.
going. I don't want this to
Video
drag
was so
on.
boring, he threw really money at us.
Hey everyone, I'm Riot Endstep,
And I'm Freak.
and we're here to talk to you about the Summoner's Rift gameplay changes coming in January.
Over the last few years, League has been largely about team fighting over neutral objectives.
I tried
Fighting
to my
around
rice.
grubs, dragons, or
Why
that
does
vision
it
work
look
you
like
just
that?
placed around grubs or dragons.
And while we know 5v5s make for some of the highest highs, we want to swing back towards a state where more strategies like splitting or
my God.
sieging are more viable.
So we're making some changes to major
Oh,
neutral
I
objectives,
need water.
towers, and minions in order to do just that.
Additionally, we're making adjustments to roles so everyone has an appropriate impact on the outcome of each game, because right now, some lanes are much
You're
better
good.
at
I
turning a
choked
winning
like
lane
a
into a
rice
winning
when I saw
game.
his outfit.
We
It
also have
just
some
looked so troll.
delightful improvements, so let's get started.
The first thing you'll notice in January is that the game starts faster. We want to reduce downtime after you load in, so minions and basic jungle camps first spawn 35 seconds earlier than they do
That's
today.
great for when my team's AFK.
You'll still be able to pull off early invades, but you'll have to be much more decisive when you load in.
We're also making some changes to vision. It's an incredibly powerful tool in League, but right now it feels monopolized by supports and sometimes by junglers. We want to make effectively warning the map easier to learn for everyone and give more opportunities and
Are you
power
okay?
towards drops by
No, I'm
pushing
telling you, I
champs,
choked on the rice.
especially
What do you want me
mid
to do?
and top laners who are side laning later in the game.
So, we're adding Phalites, locations that grant temporary
Wait, is this
bonus
in
vision
ranked?
to wards with unique bonus vision areas for each spot. Some Phalite rings will be available at the beginning of each game, while others reveal themselves when the Elemental Rift transforms, particularly those that would otherwise disrupt early game jungle.
Okay, so on to the objectives. Otacon was one of the biggest additions to the Rift this year, and was a pretty cool, unique objective to fight over. That said, he contributed to objective fatigue, which many of you cited as an
Nobody
issue,
liked
and
that
we
objective.
agree.
No one.
We wanted to alleviate this over time. We had removed the second form of Otacon, we removed the second set of
RATIRL
grubs,
is
but
human
it really
trash.
wasn't enough. So, just like Zehen did, we are cutting Otacon out of the game. That includes Blood Roses and the petals with them.
That said, let us know what you think about limited time gameplay changes and if there's something you'd like to see more of.
But back to Otacon, his removal also means that Baron will go back to his old 20-minute spawn time.
Oh
Welcome
my
back in.
god.
Additionally, we're making all epic monsters more durable, especially late game dragons as you get closer to Dragon Soul. That should make it so that it's easier for teams on the back foot to contest dragons and other epic monsters or trade something meaningful on the other side of the map.
Finally, we're also removing feats of strength from the game. We like that they push teams to progress the game and
Wait, so
provided
you're telling me
goals
that
to rally
everything that
around,
Riot
but
did
we
was
think we can
bad?
create better gameplay systems that allow for players to have more individual agency over their games. With feats getting the boot, we're adding back some gold rewards for First Blood and First Turret.
Another way we're looking to improve sieging is with a new mechanic called Crystalline Overgrowth, which is kind of like a universal demolish effect. Crystals will build up on towers over several minutes, and when hit, they're consumed to deal an extra burst of damage based on how much buildup has accumulated. This should help enable pushing windows in more situations, even if you're behind or don't have the highest DPS. Demolish will be sticking around, but will be simplified to a good old 3-hit passive.
We love 3-hit passives.
Yes, we do.
Turret plates will now stay on outer turrets permanently and will be added to the inner
What?
and inhibitor towers as well.
Why?
We're doing this to create long-term piecemeal
No!
rewards for pushing. No matter what state the turret's in, you're likely to mine some gold by taking aggressive actions. We're not adding more gold to the map with these changes. Instead, we're going to be basically spreading out the current gold for killing a tower and splitting it across the plates.
To further facilitate pushing, we're ramping up minion respawn rates in the late game to give more frequent access to sieging turrets. We're also adjusting late game home guards to swiftly take you to your most pushed
No, it's not
minion wave in
Swiftblade.
each
The first
lane.
thing was Swiftblade.
And finally,
This is
next
right.
turrets will respawn with partial health missing. We like that the respawn allows a team to hold their base for a while and not have to worry about getting backdoored by a Twitch, but with a full
Hey!
health respawn, it meant that it was honestly incorrect for a sieging team to finish
Does it
killing the
mean
turret
me?
sometimes.
Now, for our biggest change for next year, role quests.
When you load into the game in January, top, bot, and mid lane will now have their own quests that reward unique power, similar to the jungle pet evolutions and the support item upgrades.
You'll progress these new quests by killing minions, champions, plates, towers, or epic objectives. All the things you'd normally be doing in a game. You'll progress even faster by doing those in your assigned lane.
Your quest is decided by which role you've been assigned
Wait, this
in the
might
lobby.
mean that
So
supports
if
might
you and a
not leave your
friend
lane.
or a stranger want to change roles, make sure you do an official trade in Champ Select.
One of our goals with these role quests is to buff top and bot carry relative to the other roles, as they're currently the two weakest. And as a result, the quest rewards are going to be comparatively
What if you give my
stronger for
support
them.
a quest to stay in
Now,
lane for
let's
5
get
minutes?
into the rewards, which
Sorry,
will be
that-
granted in a new role quest slot.
Historically, top laners haven't always felt like they have the agency over the games that they deserved, even if they won their lane. And that's something we would like to change
Surely
this
he's gonna
season.
make that quest
Upon
happen.
quest completion, top laners will receive pretty much summoner teleport for free on top of the 2 summoners they already chose. Now, if you had taken teleport
What?
in pregame, instead that spell gets a lot stronger, giving a very, very large shield when you use it. In addition to getting a functionally free summoner spell, top laners will also get a bunch of bonus XP up front, more XP from future sources, and an increased level cap.
Now, to mid lane. A huge
Oh,
variety
yeah,
of champions
that's
can be
what we
played there,
need.
so we wanted this reward to be good whether you're mage, assassin, or both, like Malphite mid.
That's what
And
we
upon
need.
completing the quest, mid laners will receive a free tier 3 boot upgrade like the ones you could buy with feats, as well as a faster recall.
Rounding it out for new quests, in bot lane, we're going to lean
Okay,
even harder into
okay. How are these comparable to what? Okay, top laner gets a TP.
receive pretty much summoner teleport
And
for free
a
on
free-
top of the 2 summoners they already chose. Now, if you had taken teleport in pregame, instead that spell gets a lot stronger, giving a very, very large shield when you use it. In addition to getting a functionally free summoner spell, top laners will also get a bunch of bonus XP up front, more
Why? They said they wanted to buff top. Yeah, why? Top is the role where if the skill difference is big, like top lane role works in a way where if the skill gap between the two players is big, that top laner will just 1v9. Because your top will go 0-15. We deserve it.
XP from future sources, and an increased level cap.
Now, to mid lane. A huge variety of champions can be played there, so we wanted this reward to be good whether you're mage, assassin, or both, like Malphite mid. And upon completing the quest, mid laners will receive a free tier 3 boot upgrade like the ones you could buy with feats, as well as a faster recall.
Rounding it out for new
Like-
quests, in bot lane, we're going to lean even harder into the carry part of the role. So while top laners are getting bonus XP, bot laners are getting a whole bunch of extra
RATIRL
gold.
is
When completing
human
their quest, they get a lump sum of gold, increased gold from minion kills, champ kills, and champion assists for the rest of the game. And you might be asking, well then what do I do with all this gold if I hit item cap? Don't worry, the item cap is going up. Your 7th item slot will hold your
RATIRL is
boots
human
permanently,
trash.
allowing you to get 6 full
What?
legendary items for extra hard late game scaling.
Jungle and support already
Bro,
have
I
quests
can even get to
and
3
rewards,
items.
but we
What am I
still
gonna
wanted
do
to
with
take this
7?
opportunity to make some changes to them. Jungle is by far the strongest role in the game right now, especially when it comes to early
yeah.
map influence. So we're slightly
He said it, not
lowering
me.
the speed of early game clears to give lane matchups a little bit more time to play out uninterrupted. We're also making it harder for non-junglers to steal objectives by
You get
increasing their
more gold from
resists
farm.
and making
Yeah, I
Smite
can
deal
farm
more
Aegis, so does
damage.
that help?
Their role quest is still getting pet upgrades and PvP smite like before, and they're now getting increased golden XP from large monsters when the quest is done, as well as bonus movement speed in the jungle.
Similar to jungle, we think support is already plenty powerful and has a very functional role quest, so we didn't want to directly increase their power. With that in mind, we wanted to give them quality of life oriented upgrades, so we're giving them a new
Supports
slot
are so
exclusively
broken, they
for
don't
control
get
wards,
anything.
discounts on control wards, and a little bit more gold over time so they can keep pace a little better with the
Oh, I
other
wonder
roles.
what all the support players are
Overall, we
gonna
want
say
these
now.
quests to represent meaningful power spikes in a way that leans into the unique strengths of each role. This also allows us to delete the lane swap detective mechanic that we
shot though.
added last year to combat pro lane swapping. We'll be keeping a close eye on how quests land, so please let us know your thoughts next year.
But role quests aren't all we have planned to make your champions feel more satisfying. We're going to bring back a few items to the Rift for each class, so give them some
Yeah.
shiny new toys, including bringing back a few familiar favorites like Hextech Gunblade.
For example, we're adding
Wait,
the
what?
Scepter of Bonking for AP fighters, which will empower your Spellblade Bonk to double your on-hit effects.
That's not the final name, is it?
I would like it, but no, we're probably gonna give it something in canon.
I do love bonking. Well, anyway, given none of these names are final, if you're an AD fighter without a good way to get Omnivamp, you can grab Blood Sphere, which will give you some Omnivamp and also ability haste scaling with your AD.
Or if you play an AD carry who's really good at auto spacing, you can pick up Snowbow for extra range on takedown, plus damage amp based on how far away you are from your opponents.
But
We took
I
a
need
hard
to,
look
I
at
need to
which
see the
subclasses
items.
didn't feel like they were getting enough support from the current item system and worked to fill those spaces. So we're hoping many champions have at least one of the 9 new items that they can get excited about.
Speaking of which, we're also adding crit damage back to 200%.
Woo!
All right, we know that was a lot to cover. We're excited.
You're just no freak did that change. Look at his little smirk when he says that. Look at him.
All right, we
It's like, yeah, that did that. That was me.
know that was a lot to cover. We're excited to hear what you think of all these changes as the new season kicks off.
And in case you're looking for even more details or insights on these changes, make sure to check out the dev blog that's live right now.
That's it from us on the Summoners Rift team, and so we'll throw it back to Pablo and
Right.
Medler, and we'll see you on the Rift.
Okay, Swift play.
Okay, let's talk about ranked. This year we've been making improvements to shorten queue times and make your matches more fair.
Oh my
through
god, my
improvements
cat is
to
almost
intent
turning off my
and griefing
PC. What are you
detection.
doing?
And, more recently, we ran a test in late September that reduced queue times by 40% at all ranks, in ranked, in EU West and Oceania. We want to double down on that work and make 2026 the best time yet to climb.
So next year, we'll be
Can you get
also
off my
tackling
PC?
2 common frustrations, mismatched teams and long queues. Something we want to address is visual rank disparity in lobbies as well. When players start their climbs late after a reset, you may see a bronze player in an otherwise gold game, which can feel particularly unfair. When in reality, that player was gold last season, but they haven't gotten back to that rank yet because they've had less time to play. So we're adding a climb indicator to loading screens when a player's MMR is higher than their visible rank. This will let other players know that you're climbing quickly and your displayed rank hasn't caught up yet.
We're also making changes to
That's the
how
most
Flex
useless
and
thing ever.
Solo
Yo,
Duo
Hypers, thank
MMR
you for
are
the
calculated.
fucking 20.
A common pain point is someone who is Silver in Flex and, say, Diamond in Solo Duo just stomping a bunch of games.
Thank
When
you.
in reality, they're truly Diamond in both ladders. So this season, if your Solo Duo MMR is much higher than your Flex MMR, the system should bring your Flex rank a lot closer to your Solo Duo one. And that should mean Flex matchups will feel a fair bit more balanced moving forwards.
Next, we're making changes to autofill.
Ooh.
The reality of League is that certain roles are substantially more popular than others, and having an autofill jungler versus a jungle main can feel like an auto loss. This means that quite often people either dodge to avoid it or hold your lobby hostage in order to get you to dodge. When nobody likes queue times, this is an awful experience.
So we have a number of changes to
RATIRL
make
is
autofill
human
fairer
trash.
and to reward you for sticking with the role you're assigned when you do get autofilled. First, if someone on your team is autofilled, the system will try to match autofilled players by role. So an autofilled jungler versus
This is the most confusing thing ever. How did okay, autofill's been out for so long. How is this not a thing already? That's what I don't get.
another autofilled jungler, for example. If it can't match by roles, it will then of course fall back and try to ensure the same number of autofilled players on each.
This as well. Some games you have 2 filled, enemy team has 0 filled. How can that ever even happen? Surely it would just put 1 filled in each team. How can they put 2 filled in one team and 0 filled in the other team? Stop yapping. Okay.
team. We do know, though, that even with that balance, autofill games can still feel discouraging when you play your best in a role that you didn't choose. That's why we're adding a new system called Aegis of Valor. If you're autofilled and earn a mastery score of C or greater, the Aegis will trigger. You won't lose any LP on a loss, or you'll earn double LP for a win.
So for those of you
What? That has to be fake, no? What?
That's why we're adding a new system called Aegis of Valor. If you're autofilled and earn a mastery score of C or greater, the Aegis will trigger. You won't lose any LP on a loss, or you'll earn double LP for a win.
So for those of you who main less
But so you're telling me that if I get filled and I win that game, I will get double my LP, but if I lose that game but I still perform, I'll lose nothing. So why would I not just want to get autofill then? And then what if I meet an autofill? What if an autofill jungler against an autofill jungler and it procs on both of us? Or what? Also, isn't C rating incredibly low? No, you can't int as a fill. What do you mean? The thing is you can't int. You need a special grade. Like you have to perform for the system to give you the thing. If you go CO10, then you don't.
popular roles and therefore seldom get autofilled, first of all, thanks. We haven't forgotten about you. You'll still occasionally receive the Aegis benefit at about the same rate as other players because we want to reward the role heroes who keep the queue healthy and moving. Finally, we know how frustrating it is to be constantly returned to the
RATIRL is
queue
human
because you get
trash.
enchained dodges lobby after lobby. So we've made a few updates.
First, after a positive response to our pilot test, we're removing the ability to ban a hovered
I mean,
allied
that's good.
champion,
I don't mind that.
taking away an opportunity for a teammate to tilt off the planet before the match even starts. And then second, dodging a lobby will no longer allow players to escape autofill. It'll just get carried over to the next lobby. We think that the Aegis of
Wait, but that doesn't. That's already a thing. Because when I dodge and I'm filled, I get filled again.
no longer allow players to escape autofill. It'll just get carried over to the next lobby.
You don't get out.
We think that the Aegis of Valor should provide a solid reward for sticking around and trying. So, I mean, come on, it's double LP for a win, after all. And at Master and above, dodging an autofill will count as a full loss.
We know that this is
And at Master and above, dodging an autofill will count as a full loss.
Okay, so maybe it's not that bad if you think about it. Because realistically speaking, if I'm filled jungle and I go in game and I get a C, get fucked? No, you guys don't understand. If I get filled jungle and I go in game and I get a C score, I will not lose LP for that loss. But if I win, I will get double my LP. Like I want to get filled in that game. If that's the point. I want to get filled then. Because if I just perform like not even a human, you don't understand. C is so easy. This A, B, C, S. You have to get a C. It's based on champion roles. If you go Bishark, you can get an A by taking 5 camps. No, but that's not my point. This seems so troll.
We know that this is a pretty big change from how we've dealt with dodging in the past, and we believe that this will lead to higher quality and faster games. Speaking of speeding things up, we're also speeding up Champ Select by cutting down on timers and animations, which should save about half a minute.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, no, I did it.
And if that wasn't enough, we've got one last ranked change. We're adding back duo queue to higher ranks,
What?
including Challenger, in most regions.
Oh my
For so many people, League is better with friends.
Oh my
And
god!
in the past, we disabled duoing at Apex tier ranks because it's so often led to rank manipulation. But because of the improvements we mentioned earlier, as well as the ongoing work on boosting and ranked manipulation detection, we're confident that we can bring back high MMR duoing without it being so abused.
So, call up your friends. It's duo time.
Switching gears, let's talk about Swift Play.
You will finally
Swift
get
Play is
Challenger.
pretty popular, and we think there's a lot of room for further
Wait, these are like the best changes I've ever heard actually in my life. Crit is 200%. You can duo in Chal. If I get autofilled, I can just relax. Okay, but this is Swift Play. I don't give a shit about Swift Play. Like, I've never even touched Swift Play. I don't even know what Swift Play is.
I'm Dashi Jador, product lead, back again to chat about WASD, this time with
the tech lead for WASD. I'm Riot, call
I'm
me
kind of
KT.
curious about this.
Now
'cause I
that
haven't
Worlds
heard
is
anything
over
about
and we're
this.
getting closer to the end of the year, we want to check back in on the wild world of WASD. We've been on the PvE for a few months now, and in that time, we've caught and squashed over 100 bugs. All
Is it
thanks
gonna
to the
be
feedback
out?
we received from all of you creative, maybe a little unhinged PvE players who've been helping us find, identify, and crush all these pesky bugs. An extra special thanks to the players who are able to re-trigger the notorious new bug. Even beyond bugs, PvE players have been giving us great recommendations and requests.
One Redditor recommended that we add an option to do a
Redditor.
single button input to
We
move
can
at
finally duo? Brohan, we will never duo ever.
a 45-degree angle up and down the lane. It sounded pretty wild at first, but we found through our internal testing that it actually saved a lot of finger pain. So it will be available as an accessibility option for WASD players going forward. Since our debut on the PvE, we've been continuously updating all the different facets of WASD. We've made improvements to navigating around minions, wall sliding, the new dynamic lock camera, and more. One of these features is a new auto attack system for WASD. With practice and dedication, you'll be able to weave attacks and movement, matching the experience in point and click to reach your optimum DPS. Our goal is to keep WASD as an alternative
but I
control
wanna, like,
scheme at all levels of play, not just
when is
for
it
brand new
out?
players. We'll be keeping an eye on feedback as well as our internal data to ensure it remains an equitable experience.
We've also been updating our dynamic locked camera. We've added the highly requested ability to tune the camera speed to your liking. Along with these settings, we heard your feedback on wanting a way to scout ahead, to check for ganks, look at other lanes, and much more. So we've introduced a new feature appropriately named the Scout Ahead mode. When you're in dynamic locked camera, you can hold your middle mouse button to freely move your camera, and you'll snap back on release. These features, along with all the bug fixes, will be available when WASD goes live tomorrow in all queues except ranked and normal draft games. We're choosing to keep WASD out of draft modes for now, as we want to make sure you can have a smooth process for your ranked climb.
Really? Tomorrow?
Well, WASD will be live in all unranked queues except normal drafts in patch 25-24, which for many of you should be tomorrow.
We saw your requests and questions about other features we promised, like champion-specific.
Well, it's not gonna be out, so whatever. It's out for draft or whatever they said. No, it's out for it's out for everything except draft. That's what they said. Yeah, well. Back to playing League we go. I'm gonna go leave my plate. Are you happy? That was actually some of the best changes I've ever heard. Quit 200%, dual queue in Chal. Autofill should be fixed. One final flip of 50 for the sub discount ends. Okay, let me leave my plate, Litty, and get some muffins, and I will be back.